Hi guys. What I think is really happening in the marijuana space right now is there's a lot of confusion going on right now. I'm gonna say it. Uh, I think that there's a lot of manipulation going on. There's a lot of short selling, a lot of uh, negative news reports, and all stuff like that to discredit legalization in Canada. But I don't think this is gonna be. I think this will be very short lived. I'll tell you why I think this. For the last 2 years, the stocks have always gone up crazy from November to December, and last year even went into January before it hit highs. Okay, so that's one of the reasons. Another reason what I think about it is because uh, legalization, the sales haven't happened really. Um, they're just starting to come about. Not all the stores are running. Not all the marijuana is out to the province distribution spots. So they're not able to sell on full scale. They had to do these sticky tabs to say that it's like excise tax or that it's like a government uh, legal product, and they had to put them on all the grams that people buy, or 3.5 grams or 7 grams. So they had to put them on there, and that took a lot of time, especially for some of the LPs that don't have a lot of manpower. Eventually, that's going to be done by automation. But anyways, so there's a lot of confusion going on. I know that Click Alcana, they did 1.3 million in sales for their first 5 days. That's not bad for 5 stores. Now if they had 27 stores. Actually 6 stores. So they'd probably be doing about like 6 million for those first 5 days if they had 27 stores. If it was on the same ratio of sales per store. So 6 million times like 12 times say like six because it's 30 days in the month, and that would be like about 36 million times 12, uh 6 times 12, 72. I think around like 432 million. I think it would be somewhere around that range. uh if they had uh that many stores in Alberta. Now they want to have more stores in Alberta in Ontario. But enough about Alcana. What I want to say is it's a lot of confusion because the retail and even the investment banks and the hedge funds, they're kind of confused who is going to make all the sales, because now it's going to be all about big sales, big supply agreements. There's some information on the supply agreements outside of Ontario, because nobody it's hasn't been disclosed on any of the LPs for how much, excuse me, kilograms are being sold for every LP in Ontario. Only in Alberta, BC, Saskatchewan, and like Quebec, and like Newfoundland and Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. Uh, and that so it's gonna be confusing for retail right now, because now with all the sell off, people are scared. They don't know who to choose. And then so you look at the province websites like BC Cannabis Store or OCS or the Alberta online store, and you'll see some of the products are sold out. I know some of the THC Biomed stock, it got sold out recently because they're at very cheap prices, so they're probably not getting very much money uh, per gram that they sold. I'm thinking, I bet they sold to the government for maybe like $4 per gram, uh, but they're selling for like seven. So that THC Bioman is probably gonna have a lot of sales, uh, but they don't really produce that much because they're in a really small facility. Now it'll be interesting. Tilray's like about a 10 to $20 billion company depending on the day, and it'll be interesting to see what their sales are. My thinking is their sales will probably be around, who, that's a good question, 20 million, 20, 25 million maybe with their medical as well and their exportations. So I don't think they're gonna blast off for the revenues. I think Aurora could be doing like 50 to 60 million for the first quarter, maybe 70, and Canopy's probably gonna do about 75 to 80. So, but then there's all these other LPs in there that are like overpriced. Like Hexo, I think is gonna make a lot of money. But where I'm going with this is there's all these companies such as Vivo, Supreme, WeedMD, Emerald, CanTrust, and Organigram, and people aren't really sure who's going to be a good operator and who's not, who's going to make good money. So the money's like really confused. But I did my research, and I'm pretty sure on who's going to come out ahead for from like 3 to 6 months from time, because they already said the supply agreements, and then you just look at like low market caps. So I've discovered some low market cap company that will do a lot of sales. So that's what I think's happening right now. And it's right now before the stocks are going up, it's gonna flush out all the weak hands, because the retail, some of these people, they don't have much intelligence on stocks. They just like buy it and they're like, oh, okay, well, and then as soon as it goes down, they get scared and then they sell because they don't have any understanding. Now, the hedge funds and institution and big players, they prey on retail who are weak like that, who don't have the foresight. So right now they're killing out all the weak hands, and then they're gonna take their shares, and then as soon as they're happy with the amount of shares they bought, then they got like a time limit. In my opinion, they have a time limit because they want to run it up till like end of the year, and but a little bit before, like they don't want to do it right before. So it needs time for these stocks to like to start on the runs, and I predict that the runs are going to start like early November, and you're going to see like massive volume. Last year what happened was TD Bank, they was like closed for like 30 minutes because there was like some stocks such as Namaste that was having like 36 million shares traded in a day, and all is like massive. I mean, I know that Aurora has days of about like 40 to 50 million dollars volume, but Aurora's got a billion shares now. Like if Namaste has, it's like 220 million shares and they're trading 40 million, that's like 20% of the whole outstanding shares. That's wild. So they were like shut down for 30 minutes sometimes, and I really do believe in my heart that it's gonna happen the same thing this year. It's gonna be pumped because right now all the supply is getting sent to the provinces slowly. So some of the LPs don't even have a scoop on in any of the province stores or their online distribution places. Not even once, they're not able to sell one yet. I know Eve Cannabis, they don't have it yet because something to do with their ACMPR license says they can't sell it yet to the provinces. So that needs to be changed. So there's so much confusion going on, and the companies that they really did their due diligence and they've like worked hard to get this point, they're gonna really it's starting to really show. But at the same time, some of these companies such as like TC Biomed and Fire and Flower and I can't like Organigram, I'd say they're too focused on the rec market because right now Europe is starting to open up, and you know it's good to focus on the rec market, but it's the global market is going to be humongous. So that's what I'm going to say about the marijuana stocks, and I'm talking from my gut what I think is going on, and I hope you like it. That's what I got for you guys today. Peace.